Will X satiate your lust for TNA and fun, well-crafted gore? Come find out. Hey, what's up everyone? Paul from Grindhouse Funhouse. Being a channel that talks about Grindhouse movies, of course, a movie like X, directed by Ty West, whose last movie was the 2015 Western In a Valley of Violence, and his last horror movie dates back to 2013 with The Sacrament, was obviously on my radar to see. There's been many movies over the years that loves to pay tribute, be inspired by those 70s exploitation movies to make it their own with various degrees of success in what they're trying to do. Movies like Hobo with a Shotgun, Mescudi, Black Dynamite, the Planet Terror / Death Proof double feature. And now I would add X to the top of that list. In 1979, a group of young filmmakers set out to make a porno movie deep in the heart of Texas. They ran out a cabin from an elderly couple who has no idea of their sexy endeavor until they do, and decides to slash and dice them for their non-Puritan ways. Will anybody survive the geritol-fueled deadly rampage? First and foremost, I want to say that Ty West nailed the time period. The production design on this is top-notch. It feels like a movie that could have been shot in 1979, but you know, with better cameras and no film scratches. They could probably release a Grindhouse version of it with those scratches, muffled sound, add some grain to it, downgrade it to 16mm print, and none would be the wiser. If you like your 70s exploitation movies of the slow burn kind, we get to know the people really well before any slashering occurs, which is about at the hour mark. There's Maxine, played by Mia Goth, who wants to become a famous porn star. Wayne, played by Mark Henderson, her boyfriend and the producer of the movie, just want to get filthy rich. He wants to make that Next Debbie Does Dallas type movie, but for home viewing. He could have played the role as a Hollywood-type sleazy producer, but he plays it really nice and jovial. There's Jackson Hole and Bobby Lynn, played by Kid Cudi and Brittany Snow, the star of the movie, and doing it because they're horny for each other and horny at the idea of people out there watching them and getting off on it. There's the filmmakers, RJ played by Owen Campbell and Lorraine played by Ortega. He has artistic visions that he wants to fill through porn, makes them like one of them artsy French films, and Lorraine, a bit mousy and a prude at first, gets turned on by what she sees and slowly comes out of her shell. Out of the whole cast, I would say Mia Goth is definitely the standout here. The only movie I saw her in before X was the Suspiria remake, and I can't say she made much of an impact on me on that movie, but she definitely did with her work here. Plural. I won't say much more to spoil it, but I was quite surprised to find out what her other involvement in the movie was. The old couple is creepy as fuck. From the jump, you get a bad vibe. You know, we should get the fuck out of here kind of vibe, but a porno movie had to be shot, so they stuck around. Pearl, the old lady, is just really old, sexually frustrated, yet horny. And since her husband is too old and crusty to get it up, she gets weird and slashery with our young protagonist. She's not happy with her choices she made in her life, so she takes it out on them. Aging, sex and beauty are a recurring theme felt throughout the movie. It's also about the craft of filmmaking in a way. The sex scenes are nothing to get off on. It's all very technical, but they don't shy away from showing, tits and asses and dongs. Well, just the one dong. Everything happens within 24 hours and mostly at night, where the mood Ty West sets. The atmosphere is very palpable, building great tension that gets you really into it. We got a couple of fake outs and you think something's gonna happen but doesn't, but then when it really hits, it hits hard. Also, the editing is on point. We got old school side wipes, jarring quick cuts that makes you think, what the fuck did I just see? And great overview shots like the one at a pond filled with dread. The cinematography is beautiful. The horror part of the movie, you'll get a few jump scares, some really good gore scenes done with practical effects, lots of body parts being smashed into pieces, stabbings, nail injuries. Being that it's set in the heart of Texas, it has a religious undertone to it throughout the movie. We see a preacher on a black and white TV set sharing his gospel, spouting about sex fiends and sinners. And you can't do a horror movie set in Texas and not think Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and there's even a few shots in the movie that were subtle homages to it, but X is not as grimy and fucked up as Texas Chainsaw Massacre was. And the sound mix is another character unto itself. There's a barely audible hum you hear throughout. You hear insects in the background. The score is echoey moans, hums, and chants, which really adds to the atmosphere of the movie. A few more things. While they were doing press for the movie this week, we found out that not only will X be getting a sequel, there's already a prequel titled Pearl that was shot at the same time as X. It's going to be about filling some of the gaps, exploring how the cabin where the massacre of X takes place was a boarding house during World War I. The sequel is being written right now, and the one will be about how home video has affected people. I'm down with whatever Ty West has in mind for these. And stay seated after the movie is done, because there is a post-credits scene which you will get to see a short trailer of Pearl, which sadly we didn't get to see here in Canada for some reason, but you Americans will, so stay put. So would I recommend X? Damn right I would. It's definitely a love letter to slashers of yore. Usually in those late 70s, early 80s slashers, you didn't really care who got hacked off. You watched it for fun kills and the gore. In X, they made us care. For an hour and 45 minutes, they got me engaged throughout. There's no dead space, everything flows well. A1 performances from all the cast. A backwoods rural nightmare story that is well told with good gore to boot. This is another great movie added to the A24 canon. I'm giving it 9 X's out of 10. So that was my review for X. Go visit all my socials at Grindhouse Funhouse in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts on X. Did you find it to be a satisfying throwback to slashers of yore? Do let me know. More reviews of current movies in a theater near you coming up soon, so stay tuned. Thank you for watching, and I'll say to you, ciao bye for now.